Hi there, thanks for tuning into our channel. My name is Wiley Allen and I am the founder here at Pinnacle Supplementation. Today we are going to finish our discussion on protein. And if you have not watched the previous two videos on protein, then I recommend you do so first. But if you have, then the last part we need to go over are all the different kinds of protein out there. So let's get right into it. Now let's go back and take a look at this International Society of Sports Nutrition position stand that we've been looking at in the previous videos. And last time we left off on number 9 here. So number 9, while it is possible for physically active individuals to obtain their daily protein requirements through the consumption of whole foods, supplementation is a practical way of ensuring intake of adequate protein quality and quantity, while minimizing caloric intake, particularly for athletes who typically complete high volumes of training. So yes, you can absolutely get all of the protein that you need simply by consuming a high protein diet. However, a protein powder supplement is still a good idea for a lot of people because most people are not consuming enough protein to reach their goals. And most importantly, a protein powder supplement can minimize caloric intake. So a protein powder at least should be mostly protein, whereas the protein that you get from foods is going to have a lot more carbs and fats to go along with that protein. So how do you know what a quality protein powder is? Well, let's go take a look at some. And the protein powder that is the highest quality or best one for you, unfortunately, is context specific. So it's different from person to person. And that's why there's so many different protein options out there that you can see here. But let's start with this one here, because this is by far the top selling protein tub in this country, not even close. Pretty recognizable product here. And let's go take a look at this label. And the first thing that I want to go over are the words that come after the type of protein that is being used. So in this product here, we have a protein blend of whey protein isolate and whey protein concentrate. So what is the difference between isolate and concentrate? Well, it is simply the percentage of protein that is in the powders. So an isolate is at least 90% protein, whereas concentrate is less than that. It's usually 70 or 80%, but it could be anything. It could be 50%. But an isolate, you know, is at least 90% protein. And that matters because that means that there's less fat and there's less carbs, there's less lactose. For people that are lactose intolerant, that matters. Whereas concentrate has more fat, more carbs, more lactose in it. And the whey peptides there, that's nothing all that special. Regular protein powder just has longer chains of amino acids, whereas a peptide has a short chain of amino acids. So it's nothing all that fancy. It's just trying to increase the amount of a couple amino acids in the product. And then the other ingredients in here aren't all that special either. So it has soy lecithin, which is a major allergen, which is why it's listed at the bottom there. And then there's a number of people that try to avoid soy in general. And then there's also a number of people that try to avoid artificial flavors and sweeteners, which this product has. So not a lot of special ingredients in here. And then the actual label here isn't all that impressive either. So it's got 24 grams of only one kind of protein, just whey, and it has 3 grams of carbs and 1.5 grams of fat and 120 calories per serving. So there's nothing special about this product here, and I'll give some other examples to show that, but this product sure does sell. Let's take a look at an isolate specific product to compare. So this product here is strictly whey protein isolate, and then unfortunately it also has that soy allergen as well, but it doesn't have any concentrate in it. So when we look at the label here, it has 25 grams of protein, which is 1 more gram than the previous product, has essentially 0 grams of carbs and 0 grams of fat. I don't know if I fully believe that it has 0 grams of carbs, but that's what it wants to say on here. And again, 100 calories. What did the other product have? 120. So 20 calories, that may not seem like a lot, but if you're taking one scoop or multiple scoops a day, that's going to add up over time. So let's say your goal is to lose weight. All those extra calories, that matters to you. You're trying to lose weight, you need to cut down on your calories. So an isolate specific product is going to help you in terms of weight loss because it has fewer calories, less fat, less carbs than a product that has concentrate in it. And now let's go take a look at a product that is mostly concentrate. So in this product here, the first ingredient is whey protein concentrate instead of isolate. And then on the label here, we can see the difference. So this product has 2.5 grams of fat and 9 grams of carbs, same amount of protein, 25 grams, but 60 extra calories per serving, 160 calories, whereas that isolate product only had 100 calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, this is not an ideal powder for you. But if you're trying to bulk up and you're trying to actually increase the amount of calories you're consuming, this product may be a better one for you actually because it has 60 extra calories per serving. So the kind of protein powder that you're looking for, again, is context specific. Isolate and concentrate, not one is better than the other. It's just one is better for you depending on what your goal is maybe. And all of these products here were whey-based products, but an isolate or concentrate goes for any kind of protein powder. Doesn't matter if it's whey or milk or pea, rice, soy, doesn't matter. An isolate, again, is going to be at least 90% protein, and a concentrate is going to be less than that. So the next word that I want to go over that is sometimes found next to the type of protein is called hydrolyzed. So here we see hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. And hydrolyzed just means pre-digested. So the amino acids in this protein are pre-digested, and that allows them to be faster absorbed into the body. And this study here demonstrates that. So it was looking at subjects consuming either a hydrolysate of whey protein isolate or just regular whey protein isolate. They're looking at the speed of recovery following eccentric exercise and the peak isometric torque. So first, the subjects had to actually complete the exercise, and then after that, they consumed either just water, or they consumed whey protein isolate, or hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, and had to do the exercise again 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, and 24 hours later. Okay, so originally their peak isometric torque decreased about 23% after the exercise. And in the water and whey protein isolate group, that decrease in torque remained, but 6 hours later, the subjects that consumed the hydrolyzed whey protein isolate actually fully recovered. And this is beneficial particularly for athletes because they need their muscles to be recovered as quickly as possible. And that's what a hydrolyzed protein can do. And that goes along with number 10 here, that rapidly digested proteins that contain high proportions of essential amino acids and adequate leucine are most effective in stimulating muscle protein synthesis. So hydrolyzed protein certainly is rapidly digested, but it's also a lot more expensive, and most hydrolyzed protein products are not very good products. The way that you can tell if you have a good hydrolyzed protein product is if it tastes horrible. It'll taste very bitter if it's actually hydrolyzed. If it doesn't taste very bitter, then it's not a high degree of hydrolysis, and you're just really just paying extra for a whey protein isolate, which in and of itself is very well known for being a fast digesting protein. So if you're looking for a protein that's fast, there's absolutely nothing wrong with regular whey protein. And we can skip down here to number 14 to look at the opposite of whey protein, which is casein protein. So number 14 here, pre-sleep casein protein intake about 30 to 40 grams provides increases in overnight muscle protein synthesis and metabolic rate. And the reason that casein protein is recommended to be taken before bed is because it's very slow digesting, which is important because that allows the amino acids to be flowing throughout your body all throughout the night. Whereas whey protein is very rapidly digested. So whey protein is more recommended to be taken like first thing in the morning. That way you can get those amino acids through to your muscles a lot more quicker, whereas casein is better to be taken before bed because it's a lot slower digested. But what about when you're taking your pre or post-workout protein shake? Which of these two should you consume then? Well, it does not really matter. So this study was looking at individuals consuming either whey, casein, or a non-caloric controlled drink right after exercise. And the results and the conclusion are that whey and casein intake immediately after exercise results in an overall equal muscle protein synthesis response despite temporal differences in insulin and amino acid concentrations. So whey is going to increase insulin and amino acid concentrations more quickly. However, casein is going to increase amino acid concentrations longer over a sustained period of time. So in the end, both are going to equally increase muscle protein synthesis. So it does not matter if you take whey or casein or a combination of them. They're going to both effectively increase muscle protein synthesis. Now, moving on to number 11 here, which is a very important statement. Different types and quality of protein can affect amino acid bioavailability following protein supplementation. Okay, so how do you judge the quality of a protein? Well, the most updated method is looking at the DIAAS for different kinds of proteins, which stands for Digestible Indispensable Amino Acid Score. And the way a type of protein scores well on this is if one, it has all of the amino acids that your body requires in the right ratios, and two, if those amino acids are actually digestible. So you notice that the high scores, whole milk powder, milk protein concentrate, whole milk, eggs, beef, whey protein isolate, chicken breast, all of these are animal-based products which score the highest. And then the next tier are a lot of plant-based products, so soy protein concentrate, pea protein, wheat, chickpeas. A lot of plants score good, but they're a little bit lower in score than the animal-based products. So why is it that animal-based proteins tend to score a little bit better than plant-based proteins? Well, because of the amino acid profile that they contain. So this table does an excellent job of displaying the amino acid profiles for different kinds of proteins. We have a list of all of the essential amino acids over here. And then right here, we have the amounts that is necessary for a protein to be considered complete. So it must have at least 59 milligrams of leucine per gram of protein. So you see that the milk-based protein here has at least this amount of every amino acid in it. And same thing with whey. It has at least this amount for each essential amino acid. And then you see the three plant-based proteins here. We got pea, rice, and soy, and each of them are lacking at least one or two of the amino acids over here at the right ratio. So for rice, it's lysine. It does not contain enough lysine for it to be considered a complete protein. And then for pea and soy, it's the methionine and cysteine that it doesn't have enough of for it to be considered a complete protein. So does that mean that one should shy away from plant-based proteins? No, not necessarily. There's a lot of reasons why one would choose to have a plant-based diet. Just because most plant-based proteins are incomplete proteins, that doesn't mean they can't complement each other. Okay, so for an example, the amino acid profile of a 70 to 30 pea rice ratio protein blend is similar to that of whey. How does it do that? Well, pea protein is high in lysine, whereas rice is low, but when you combine them, it has a sufficient amount that's more than this quantity right here. And then same thing for methionine and cysteine. Rice is high in those two amino acids, whereas pea is low, but when you combine them, it is more than sufficient to meet this quantity over here. So as long as you know how to complement plant-based proteins, they can essentially be just as effective as animal-based proteins. And this study here shows that even if you consume just an incomplete protein, it could still work as long as you're consuming enough of it. So here the subjects were randomly assigned to either 48 grams of rice or whey protein isolate on top of all the food that they were already consuming. And the conclusion was that both whey and rice protein isolate post-resistance exercise improved body composition and exercise performance. However, there were no differences between the two groups. So at a lower dosage, yes, a complete protein is going to be more effective than an incomplete protein. But this study shows that as long as the dosage is high enough, an incomplete protein can still be effective. So yes, there are certainly different protein options out there for you to take in order to best accomplish a specific goal you have. However, the type of protein you consume is far less important than actually making sure you are getting enough protein. And with that being said, let's recap the main points that we have learned from these 3 videos on protein. Almost everyone could benefit from consuming more protein than they do right now. Taking high amounts of protein is safe. You need to focus on feeding your body a high protein diet, whether you are trying to build muscle or lose weight. You can take as much protein per serving as you want, just try to get 3 grams of leucine per serving. The time that you take your protein does not really matter. And again, there are a lot of different kinds of proteins that you can personalize for yourself based on your goals, budget, and preferences. But what really matters is the amount of protein you are consuming throughout the whole day. And that is protein for you. So, thank you again for tuning in. Don't be afraid to shoot me a comment or question if you have one. And just remember to go reach your pinnacle.